Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aska, and if you're new here, please subscribe and click the notification bell so that you get notified when I post a new video. So in today's tutorial, you're going to learn how to crochet this multicolored skirt. It's a full set. We have a tutorial for the matching top, so I'm going to leave a link to the matching top at the description box below. And this is the skirt that you're going to make together. So this is how it looks like, and this is how I'm going to blend in my colors. I just blended them randomly, that's why it looks like this. So how you're going to place your colors, it's up to you. So this skirt is made to fit, so in this tutorial I'm going to guide you on how to make any size that you want. Okay, so let us start. So these are the materials you're going to need. You'll need a 3.5mm crochet hook, a darning needle to weave in your loose ends. You're going to need a tape measure. You're going to need a pair of scissors and yarn. So for the yarn, you're going to use different colors, a lot of colors, and this is just a sample of what I'm using. And the brand for all these colors is this Robin. It's a Kenyan brand, and it's a fingering weight yarn. So we're going to double our strand because it's a lightweight yarn, but I would recommend you use any other medium weight yarn, single strand. So you're going to blend your colors the way you like. So let's go ahead and start. So before you start, you're going to need your waist measurements, hip measurements, and the height of your skirt. So I'm working with a waist measurement of 29 inches, hip measurement of 38 inches, and the height of 16 inches. So let us start. So we are going to start with this brown color. We're going to use this to make the waistband. Then for the rest of the body, we are going to use the rest of the colors. So we are going to make the first square, then take the measurements and determine how many squares you're going to make for your waist. So let us start with the first square. So you're going to start by making a magic ring, and this is how I make my magic ring. You make a loose knot, and you're going to hold your work this way. Okay, so now let us start. Insert your hook into the ring, and you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, that way. Now we are going to place 16 double crochets into the ring. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop, that way, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So that is a double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So we've made 2 double crochets. The chain 3 doesn't count as a stitch, so now we have 2 double crochets. You're going to make 14 more. We need 16 double crochets in the ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So now I have my 16 double crochets. So let's go ahead and tighten the ring. So I'm going to pull the loose end that way, and you're going to join the ring. So insert your hook into the first stitch here, pull up a loop, and you're going to pull all through. So that is a slip stitch. Now we are done with our first row. Now let's go to the second row. You're going to chain 1, and into the first stitch you're going to place a single crochet. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, that way, yarn over and pull through the 2. Go to the next one with a single crochet, that way. Now you're going to chain 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then you're going to skip 2 stitches here and here. Go to the third one with a single crochet, that way. Go to the next with a single crochet. Now you're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, into the third one, do a single crochet, and into the next a single crochet. Now we're going to chain another 10, skip 2 stitches, 1 2, into the third one do your single crochet, and into the next a single crochet. Now we're going to chain the last set of 10 chains, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Now we're going to skip 2 chains and we are left with 2 chains only, this one and this one. So we are going to slip stitch into the first single crochet here. Okay, make your slip stitch, and that will mark the end of the second row. Okay, so this is what we have right now. Now let's go to the next row. You're going to chain 1, and into that first stitch you're going to do a single crochet, and now you're going to chain 4. So 1 2 3 and 4. Go to the next stitch, this one, with a single crochet, that way. Now you're going to place 5 half double crochets in this space, the chain 10 space. So yarn over, insert your hook into the space with a half double crochet. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the 3. That is a half double crochet. So we need 5 half double crochets in here. So 1 2 3 4 and 5. That way. Chain 2 and place 5 more half double crochets. So 1 2 3 4 and 5. That way. So we have 5 half double crochets, chain 2 and 5 more half double crochets. Now you're going to chain 1 and go to the next chain 10 space. So place your 5 half double crochets, so 1 2 3 4 5, chain 2 and place 5 more half double crochets. So 1 2 3 4 and 5. That way. So 5 half double crochets, chain 2 and 5 more. So you're going to repeat the same process. Chain 1 and go to the next chain 10 space with 5 half double crochets, chain 2 and 5 more half double crochets. So 1 2 4 and 5. Go to our last chain 10 space, so chain 1 and do the same process. 5 half double crochets, chain 2 and 5 more half double crochets. So 1 2 3 4 5, chain 2 and 5 more half double crochets. 4 and 5. So you're going to end this row by slip stitching into the first single crochet here, this one. So insert your hook there and make a slip stitch, and you can go ahead and cut this yarn, and you are done with our first square, and this is how it looks like. Okay, so you realize that we have chains here, not here, not here and not here, just on one side. And for the next one, you're going to place it on 2 points. Only the first one and the last one you're going to place only on one side. So we need to measure this to determine how many squares you're going to make for our waist. So we're going to take the measurements on this part, the part where you don't have these chains in between. So take the measurements. So you see it measures almost 3 inches, but you know it's going to expand a little bit, so it will go up to the 3 inches. Okay, so you're going to say your waist measurements. So I'm working with a 29-inch waist measurements, so I'm going to say 29 divided by 3. I get 9.6. Okay, so you're going to start by making the 9 complete squares, then determine how many inches are left. Okay, so let's go ahead to the next square. So this is the first one, and the second one is not exactly like this. So let's go ahead and start the second one. So the first row and the second row is exactly the same. Okay, so go ahead and make your first row and the second row. I'm going to meet you on the third row. So you're going to start with your magic circle and make a chain 2, and you're going to place 16 double crochets into the ring. When you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch to the first stitch here, chain 1, and into the first stitch place a single crochet, into the next stitch a single crochet, chain 10, 1 2 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, skip 2 stitches, 1 2, into the third one do a single crochet, into the next one do a single crochet, chain 10, skip 2 stitches, and just repeat that, and you're going to meet at the end of the row. When you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch to the first single crochet here, and that marks the end of the second row. Now let's go to the third row. You're going to chain 1, and into that first stitch place your single crochet, chain 4, 1 2 3 4, place a single crochet in the next stitch that way, and now you're going to do your 5 half double crochets, chain 2, and 5 more half double crochets into the next chain 10 space. So yarn over and do your 5 half double crochets. So 1 2 3 4 and 5, chain 2, and make 5 more half double crochets. So 1 2 3 4 and 5, chain 1, and go to the next chain 10 space with your 5 half double crochets. So 1 2 3 4 5, chain 2, and place 5 more half double crochets, 2 3 4 and 5, that way. So now we've worked on 2 chain 10 space here and here. So now you're going to place 1 single crochet into this single crochet here. Okay, don't chain 1, place your 1 single crochet into the first single crochet here, chain 2, 1 2, and now you're going to join it to the first square. So you're going to join it to this point where we had our chain 4. So make sure both of them, the right side is facing. Okay, so this is the right side of my work, and this is the right side on this other square. So insert your hook into this chain 4 space here and make a slip stitch. So you're going to yarn over and pull all through that way, then chain 2, and you're going to continue with this other square. So you're going to place 1 single crochet in the next single crochet, which is this one here, place 1 single crochet there, and now you're going to continue. So you're going to continue with this chain 10 space. You're going to place your 5 half double crochets, so 1 2 3 4 5, chain 2, and 5 more half double crochets. So 1 2 3 4 5, chain 1, and repeat the same thing on the last chain 10 space. I've gotten to the end, so you're going to slip stitch to the first single crochet here, and we are done with our second square. Chain 1 and cut. So this is how it looks like. We've already joined at this point, so you realize this one we have this space to join the next one. Okay, so go ahead and make the next square, and you're going to join it at this point, and you'll keep making your squares and joining it until you have your 9 squares. So go ahead and divide your waist measurement by the amount of inches you got when you measured your one square. Okay, so when I measured mine and divided it, it was 29 inches divided by 3. I got 9.6. So I need 9 complete squares, and I've already made one. So make the next one just like what we did for the second one, and join it at this point. Then make the next one, join it at a point like this. Okay, so we are going to meet after you've made your full squares. Then you're going to take the measurements and determine how we are going to finish to join the waistband. So realize on the last square we only made chains here, not anywhere else, just one point. So now I have my 9 squares, and this is how my work looks like. So we're going to take the measurements and see if we stretch this, it's going to fit, or we are going to add some few stitches at the end here. So let's take the measurements and see. So I was working with a waist measurement of 29 inches. So let's place our mark here and at this point, and you're going to stretch your work. You see my work stretches just fine, so I'm going to stop at this point. So if you stretch your work a little bit and it's still not enough, you're going to add some few stitches here. You're going to do some half double crochets at this point, and I'm going to show you how you're going to add that. But for me, I'm not going to add anymore because it's enough. This can stretch up to 32 if you overstretch it. Okay, so that means 29 is okay. So let me show you how you're going to add some few stitches if your squares are not enough. So insert your hook into this corner here, the chain 2 space, and you're going to attach your yarn, chain 2, 1, 2, and into that same chain 2 space you're going to place 1 half double crochet that way. Now you're going to work in each and every stitch here, including the chain 1 stitch in here. Okay, so you'll need to have 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 5 plus 1. Okay, so you need to have 13 stitches here. So let's work on the 5 half double crochets here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now into the chain 1 stitch, and on this other side the 5 half double crochets, and the last stitch into the chain 2 space. So you should have 13 half double crochets at the end here. Okay, now you're going to go to the next row, so chain 1 and turn your work, and you're going to place 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way up to the end. So if you need, let's say 2.5 or 3 inches or more, just go ahead and do another square. You don't need to do the double crochet rows. The half double crochet rows is only necessary when you need 1 or 2 inches extra. Okay, but if you need more, just go ahead and do another square. So you're going to repeat what we did on this second row until you have the size that you want. Let's go ahead and join our work if you did this way. Okay, I'm going to undo this and continue with mine. So make sure you join your work on the wrong side of your work, not the right side. The right side in and the wrong side out. Okay, so you're going to chain 1 and you're going to join. So this is how it looks like. So insert your hook into this chain 2 space and into the first stitch here, and make a slip stitch that way. Go to the next stitch and into the next stitch on the other side, make a slip stitch. So you're joining using slip stitches. So you're going to keep doing this up to the end of the row. And work also on the chain 1 stitch and the next stitch on the other side. The last stitch is on the chain 2 space and the last stitch on the other side. So you're going to chain 1 and you are done joining, and this is how your work should look like. This is the right side and this is the wrong side. Okay, you've added some few stitches, so this is how it looks like. So I'm going to undo this and now continue with mine. So this is where we left mine, so let's go ahead and continue. I'm going to join both ends together, so you're going to join it on the wrong side. So the wrong side is facing. Now let's go ahead and join. So insert your hook into the chain 2 space here and into the chain 2 of the next one. Attach your yarn, chain 1 and insert your hook into the first stitch there, this one, and into the first stitch of the other side. We are joining this part using slip stitches. So you're going to yarn over and pull all through, making a slip stitch. Okay, go to the next stitch and into the next one on the other side and do the same thing. So you're just going to join using slip stitches until the end of the, up to this point. And the last stitch you're going to place in the chain 2 space. Make your slip stitch, chain 1, and our work is joined. So this is the wrong side of your work and this is the right side. Okay, so now let's continue. So don't cut your yarn, you're going to continue with it. Make sure you're working on the right side of your work. Okay, this is the right side and this is the wrong side. Okay, now you're going to chain 1 and into the first chain 2 space you're going to do 1/2 double crochet. So yarn over and place 1/2 double crochet in the chain 2 space that way. Now you're going to place 1/2 double crochet in the next stitches, including the chain 1 stitch in the middle. Work on this chain 1 stitch here. And you're going to continue. Place 1/2 double crochet in the remaining stitches up to the chain 2 space. Now you're going to place 1/2 double crochet in the chain 2 space, and now you need to join this square to this other square. So insert your hook into that chain 2 space, pull up a loop that way, and go to the next chain 2 space of the next square here. Insert your hook, pull up a loop that way. Now you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 that way, and your 2 squares are joined. Now let's continue. Yarn over and into that chain 2 space place 1/2 double crochet and 1/2 double crochet in the next stitches, including the chain 1 stitch in between. And I'm going to meet you at this end, the chain 2 space at this point. We're going to join to the next square once more, then you can continue by yourself. This is what we have right now. Now let's join this square to the next square. And before you join, make sure your work is on the right side. Don't twist this point. So insert your hook into that chain 2 space, pull up a loop, and insert your hook into the next chain 2 space of the next square, pull up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 that way. And now you're going to continue 1/2 double crochet in that chain 2 space and 1/2 double crochet in the next stitches up to the last chain 2 stitch here. Then you're going to join and keep doing that, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. Okay, work all round and you're going to meet at this point. I'm at the end of the row, so when you get to the end, you're going to slip stitch to the first 1/2 double crochet. So if you had made extra stitches here, just work on them. In each row, place 1/2 double crochet on top here. Okay, so when you get to the end, you're going to slip stitch to the first stitch, chain 1 and cut, and we are done with the upper part of the skirt. Now let us work on the lower side of the skirt. So you're just going to turn your work and start from where you joined your work, the first chain 2 space here. So attach your yarn, chain 2, and into that chain 2 space place 1/2 double crochet that way. And now you're going to repeat what we did on this side all round, and you're going to meet at this point. So in every stitch you're going to do 1/2 double crochet. I'm at the end of the row, so I'm going to join this with a slip stitch to the first stitch, chain 1, and you're going to cut. So you're going to cut if you want to change the color, but if you're working with one color all the way, don't cut your yarn, just go to the next row. But my next row I'm going to use this pink. So from here we are going to start using these different colors, just alternating them and making it colorful. So before we start on the second row, we are going to mark 2 points at this point and this point. This is the middle point, this is where we joined. So mark 2 points here and here. Now I have marked the 2 points here and also on this side. So the points that you marked, you're going to do increases there to form the hips. Okay, you're going to do the increases to expand on the hips. Okay, so now let us start on the next row. So you're just going to start from where you left, attach your yarn, the next color that you're going to use, chain 2, and into that same stitch you're going to do 1 double crochet. Now you're going to place 1 double crochet in each stitch up to the point where you have the stitch marker. So continue with your double crochets in each stitch up to the point where you have the stitch marker. Now I'm at the point where we have the stitch marker. So I'm going to remove the stitch marker and place 2 double crochets there. So we are doing an increase, 1 and 2, and you're going to replace your stitch marker into the first stitch of the increase. Now continue up to the next stitch marker. So I have one stitch in between, so I'm going to work on it and remove the next stitch marker and place 2 double crochets there, 1 and 2, and I'm going to replace my stitch marker into the last stitch of the increase. So you're going to try to keep the stitch markers apart. Now you're going to continue 1 double crochet in the next stitches up to the point where you have the next stitch markers, and you're going to repeat what we just did here. You're going to remove your stitch marker and place 2 double crochets there, then replace your stitch marker to one of the stitches, then continue with your 1 double crochet up to the next stitch marker, Then remove the stitch marker, place 2 double crochets there, and replace your stitch marker and continue with 1 double crochet until you get to the end, and I'm going to meet you at the end. Now I'm at the end of my second row, so when you get to the end, you're going to insert your hook into the first stitch and make a slip stitch, chain 1 and cut, and you're going to introduce the next color. So let's go to the third row. Insert your hook into the first stitch, this one, and you're going to attach the next color. So the next color is sky blue, chain 2, and into that same stitch place 1 double crochet. So the chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. Okay, now you're going to repeat what we did on this row. So I'm going to repeat it once more, then you can continue by yourself. So you're going to place 1 double crochet in each stitch up to the point where we have the stitch marker. So let's do that. 1 double crochet in each stitch. Now I'm at the point where we have the stitch marker, so you're going to remove the stitch marker, place 2 double crochets in that stitch, 1 and 2, and replace your stitch marker on one of the stitches. So I always place my stitch marker on the first stitch of the increase, so on this stitch. And I'm going to continue up to the next stitch marker. Now I'm going to remove the stitch marker and place 2 double crochets there, and I'm going to replace my stitch marker. So I try to keep the stitch markers apart from each other, so I'm going to place this on this stitch, the last stitch, okay, the farthest stitch from this stitch marker. So I'm going to place my stitch marker on this the last stitch here, this one, that way, so they keep going apart. Now you're going to continue with 1 double crochet in each stitch up to the next stitch markers, and I'm going to meet you on the next stitch markers. Now I'm on my next stitch markers, so I'm going to remove the stitch marker and place 2 double crochets there, 1 and 2, and replace my stitch marker. So the stitch marker, you're placing it apart from each other. Okay, so I'm going to place it into the first stitch of the increase and continue up to the next stitch marker. So the body of this skirt is made up of double crochets. Now you're going to remove the stitch marker and place 2 double crochets there, 1, 2, and replace the stitch marker. You're going to place it on the stitch which is further from this stitch marker. You're going to keep them apart. It's going to go like this. Okay, now you're going to continue placing 1 double crochet in each stitch, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. And when you get to the end of the row, you're going to join to the first stitch here. Now if you're using one color for this whole project, you don't need to cut your yarn and keep reattaching it. Okay, just chain 2 and continue with your rows. Okay, now if you want to switch colors like me, you're going to chain 1 and cut and attach the next color. So this is where we are right now, and this is how our work looks like. So our stitch markers are at these points, the points where we have the hips. And so you're going to continue repeating what we did on this blue row, the third row, up to a point where when you take the measurements, it fits your hip measurements. So you're going to continue until you achieve the hip measurements, then you're going to meet at that point. So you're going to keep alternating the colors, or you can use just one color, it's up to you. So continue, and you're going to meet when you achieve your hip measurements. I'm done with my increases, and right now I'm on row 9. So let's count. The first row is the brown color with the half double crochets. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. We've done increases on 8 rows. Okay, and I've achieved my hip measurements. Okay, so now let's go to the next row, and on the next row you're not going to do any more increases, so I can go ahead and remove my stitch markers. So you see what I was saying, you see that the stitch markers kept going apart from each other. So we started here, and you see it has gone this way. Okay, so I'm going to remove the stitch markers because we don't need this anymore. And now we can go to the next row. So on the next row you're going to chain 2. So I'm using the same color for the next 2 rows. I used 2 rows here, 2 rows also on the blue one. So you're going to chain 2, and if you want to switch the color, just chain 1 and cut and attach the next color. So we're going to place 1 double crochet in each stitch up to the end of the row. No more increases. So continue placing 1 double crochet in each stitch. So when you get to the end of the row, you're going to go to the next row and repeat what you did on this row, the 11th row, where you're not going to do any more increases for some few rows before we start doing the decreases. So you're going to continue, and let's take the measurements for this before you continue. So from the top it measures 6.5 inches. Okay, so you're going to continue for some few rows where you're not going to do any more increases. Then I'm going to meet you after some few rows. We're going to take the measurements and see. So this is where we are right now. I have made 23 rows in total, and now we need to start doing some decreases for our work to narrow down just a little bit. Okay, so let's go to the next row. We can take the measurements so that you can determine the point where you're going to start to do the decreases. So I'm just going to place my work flat and take the measurements. It measures almost 12 inches, 11.75 inches. Okay, so let's go to the next row, which will be my 24th row, and start the decreases. So before you start the decreases, you need to mark 2 points where you're going to place those decreases. Just any stitch. You don't need to be very accurate about this, just 2 points is okay. And now let's go ahead and start the next row. Now you're going to continue with just the same process, 1 double crochet in each stitch until you get to the point where you have the stitch marker. So place your 1 double crochet in each stitch, and I'm going to meet you on your stitch marker. Then I'm going to show you how to do the decreases. So when you get to your stitch marker, you're going to remove the stitch marker, and you're going to place a decrease there. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, the stitch where you had the stitch marker, pull up a loop, and insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop. Now you have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2, that way, and that is a decrease. So you're going to continue with 1 double crochet in the next stitches up to the next stitch marker, and I'm going to meet you on your next stitch marker. Then you're going to repeat the decrease, and I'm going to explain to you how you're going to continue from there. I'm almost getting to the next stitch marker, so we're just going to repeat what we did on our previous stitch marker point. So you're going to remove the stitch marker, and you're going to do the decrease. So yarn over and insert your hook into that stitch, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, Now you have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2. So that is a decrease. Now you're going to continue with the remaining stitches up to the end. So you're going to continue with your stitches up to the end of the row. Then you join, chain 2 and go to the next row. So you're going to work 2 rows with no decreases. On the third row you're going to do the decrease. Okay, then work 2 more rows with no decrease. Then on the third row we are doing the decrease. So the decreases, we made them on row 24, this row. Now you're going to do 2 rows with no decrease, the 25 and 26. So on row 27 you're going to do another decrease. Okay, so on row 24 we placed our decreases on these points, these ends. So on row 27 you're going to switch and place them on these 2 points. Don't place them on one side. So you're going to do the decreases on row 27, then go to row 28 and 29 with no decreases. Then on row 30 you're going to do another decreases. Okay, then from there you're not going to do any more decreases. So the decreases are done only on 3 rows. Okay, so continue with your work and you're going to meet when you've achieved the height that you are looking for. Then you're going to do the last row together. So I'm going to work with the height of 16 inches and right now I have 12.5 inches. Okay, so I have this left. So continue and you're going to meet after that. Then you're going to do the last row together. I'm done working on the amount of rows that I needed. So I made 34 rows in total. This is what we have right now. So you can see our work narrows down just a little bit at the lower parts. So let us start our last row together. So I'm just going to start from where we left. The first stitch. For the last row, we are going to use the same color like this, the same color with the waistband. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on it. You're going to attach your yarn into that first stitch, chain 1. Now you're going to yarn over, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2. On the third one, you're going to place 6 double crochets. So skip this and this. On the third one, you're going to do 6 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 that way. Now you're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2. On the third one you're going to do a slip stitch. So insert your hook, pull up a loop and you're going to pull all through that way. Yarn over, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2. On the third one place your 6 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2. On the third one place a slip stitch that way. Okay, you're doing 6 double crochets, skip 2. On the third one a slip stitch, skip 2. On the third one 6 double crochets, and just repeat the same pattern all the way to the end. So now I'm on my third shell. So this is the first shell, the second shell. On the third one I'm going to skip 2. On the third stitch I place my 6 double crochets, and do the slip stitches. So just keep repeating this pattern all the way and you're going to meet at the end. Then you're going to go ahead and make a string of chains that you're going to use to fasten our waistband. Okay, so go ahead and you're going to meet after that. I'm at the end of the row and I have 2 stitches left, so you should have 5 stitches here to complete a full shell like this. So since we have 2 stitches left, we're just going to do 1/2 double crochet in each. So you're going to chain 1. Now if you have, let's say, 3 stitches, you're going to do the same. But if you have 4 stitches, you're going to make another shell. Just skip 2 and make your shell and join to the end. Okay, So you're going to do 1/2 double crochet these 2 stitches, and slip stitch to the first stitch here, chain 1 and cut, and this is how it looks like. So this is how the bottom of your work looks like. Now let's go ahead and make a string of chains that you're going to use for the waist. So we're just going to make chains. So I'm done making my chains. Make sure your chains can go around your waist and give you allowance to tie them. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach it. So this is optional. You can use this, or you can go ahead and place your elastic band at this point, but I don't have the elastic band, so we're just going to use this. It's still okay. Now let's go ahead and attach it. You're going to tie this at the back of your work. So this is the back of your work where we joined it. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach this. So we're going to attach it on this row, this 1/2 double crochet row here, and this will be the midpoint. So let's go ahead and start. So I'm just going to show you how to start for a little bit, then you're going to continue. And I'm using a bigger hook so that it can hold these. Okay, you don't need to use this, you can just use any. Now let's go ahead and attach it. Just going to pull this through the row. That way, and this is how it's going to look like. So you're going to go ahead and do the same way all the way around. So when you finish that, you're going to turn your work to the wrong side, and you're going to weave in all these loose ends. Okay, so just weave them in and you're done, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and go ahead and watch the matching top tutorial for this. And that is it, guys. So if you're new here, please subscribe and click the notification bell so that you get notified when I post a new video. So see you guys.